get into some Mizzou quarterback talk. Like right now, I know it's a open competition. I think Brady Cook is the guy heading in right now to camp, unless something changed. Who knows? Maybe it did. But let's talk on Brady Cook for a little bit. And then I want to talk on Jake Garcia, the transfer for Miami coming in, to see if you been able to watch him some. But what were some things last year that you saw in Cook that was like encouraging, right? Because I think, and we talked about this before, but I think he probably played a lot better than probably given credit for. But quarterbacks just take all the criticism regardless. What were some like takeaways in watching Cook's games last year that were exciting for this 2023 season?
Yeah, man, just the times I got to see him play in the offense. I mean, he's an underrated athlete, moves great, when plays, passes, break down, and he takes off and gets positive yardage, can turn into a big play. Um, has a good moxie, man, good leader. Seems to bring a lot of energy to the squad. And you think about quarterback, especially at Missouri, it's just there's this pressure to take teams and win every game, which that's the goal. But
Yeah.
people don't really take into consideration all the circumstances, all the different factors that are happening inside the team, whether it be injuries or deficiencies or issues, whatever it may be. And the fact of the matter, as a quarterback, you have to take all that, and your goal is to put your best foot forward and put the team in the best position to be successful. And it looks, from what I saw, Brady was able to do that.
Yeah, you mentioned two things to bring up. One, you alluded to briefly, like the history of the quarterback play at Mizzou from you, because you started that good run. I know for those that know Brad, he's probably the most humble, modest man I've met. So I'll brag on him a little bit, and I think to this day still he's the only player with 4 straight seasons of 2,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing in each season. So. Um, yeah, and we're going to get that here in a little bit. But so it was you, Chase Daniels, Blaine Gabbert, Drew Lock, James Franklin. I mean, there are just a lot of really, really good quarterbacks at the position. Even guys like Matt Mock, who had flashes, right? So I think they've always had just like good quarterback play. So, and you also talked about with Cook like having like almost like a chance to develop. I know those weren't your exact words, but it's like the experience factor is such a big deal there,
Right.
but also like with Cook, like being an underrated athlete, people probably don't realize he rushed for over 500 yards last year, right? Like had his TD to interception ratio was still a 2-to-1, which isn't top tier or great, but it's not in a bad position either. It was his first year starting in the SEC, which I think gets glossed over. Everyone expects first year starters to be Trevor Lawrence or Justin Field. They expect that type of like production as their first year. So maybe you can hit on the experience factor and like how much that plays a role, because he had a full season of starting in SEC play, and I think he's only going to get better. Like I think maybe this time next year, like he's going to be talked about one of the better guys in the SEC potentially if he takes those steps forward. So maybe just talk about the experience and how important that is, and the fact that even though he was like maybe up and down at times, which is fair, with that experience, like more consistency tends to follow.
Yeah, man, and I really hope that for him, that the development clicks, and things start operating really, really great for him. I mean, these are kids, man. Like,
Right.
whether we want to, they talking about NIL and paying them and all that stuff, but like they're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids. Now some come in a little older,
Yeah. Yeah.
but this is very impressionable young people trying to learn. And I think we push and we expect so much from kids, and instead of giving them a chance to grow and to learn and make mistakes without this huge expectations of like you're a failure, or you're written off, if you're not successful, like to the level that we want. I think with Brady and Mizzou, like that experience, it's like, when you, as a quarterback, you first learn a concept. You're coming out a freshman, you learn a smash concept, a hitch on the outside, a corner on the inside. And like, so by the book, I take a 3-step drop. Once I hit my back foot, I'm throwing the hitch. If the corner bails, if the corner jumps down, I reset, throw the corner. And like, so you're by the book, and that's all you're seeing. But with the experience, you start learning nuances. Okay, now maybe we widen it, we cut the split down to the hitch, and we're doing a with hitch, which kind of affects the corner a little bit more, makes his eyes go to you. And now the corner route, now he has a little bit more play in it where I can pull him down versus cover two, or I can keep him high versus
Mm,
three, or versus man. I know with that receiver, like where he likes the ball to be and his ability to go get it if I put it towards the sideline. And with that experience, it becomes now because I'm trying to do it perfect by the book early on, I might throw an incompletion or I might, a pick might happen because of miscommunication. But with that experience with him and his receivers,
mm,
like now, okay, now we're just playing pitch and catch in the backyard. Now we're like,
mm.
okay, now we're at the, level three of this thing. So that experience factor is a huge deal. And I think it just gives guys confidence to
Yep.
flow and really be who they are.
That's a good word, just to flow, just to like play without thinking, right? Have you
Right,
got a
right.
chance? Did you ever watch Jake Garcia, the transfer coming from Miami? Did you watch him at all last year? Or
I think I maybe saw highlights or something he
okay,
may have done, but I haven't sat down and watched a full game of
not
him
too much.
yet.
Yeah, I
Not too
think
much yet.
I think regardless who ends up playing the majority, or regardless who wins, like the competition is only going to bring out the best out of each guy. I know they had another transfer coming too. I think
What happened to Horn? Is Horn still there?
Sam Horn. Yeah, I think he was he came. Did he transfer in this year too?
Sam, he was a no. He came in. He signed with Missouri.
Oh, he signed.
Yeah. So, but I haven't heard his name mentioned.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe hopefully some Mizzou fans are nice and help us out and don't like crush us for not knowing, you know?
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna get crushed for sure.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But no, yeah, Sam Horn, he was the other guy. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think regardless, the competition's good, and I'm excited for Brady Cook too. I'm always a fan of guys who get like criticized right off the bat, and then like they're able to kind of not even bounce back, but take that next step and
Right.
become
They go
yeah
they go crazy.
and go crazy.